All right. First off, thank you guys, everybody, for watching this. My name is Mike Healy. I'm one of the co-founders of Bidpoint, and we wanted to do something kind of special for you today. I've got my other business partner, Rick Moore, on here, who's also one of the co-founders of Bidpoint, as well as one of our business partners and our probably one of our favorite verticals with the commercial energy, which is how this whole thing kind of came together, is Jim Sharon. And we're excited to have him on here. What's kind of fun about this is that to go back in time, this is probably 12, 13 years ago. I was in an energy company, a company doing deregulated energy, primarily commercial, and I had really gotten up to speed on it because I had understood how big the money and income potential was inside of telecom when telecom deregulated, and here we are going into commercial energy, which is like 100 times bigger than that. And I ended up writing a book. I'm going to just show you a copy of it real quick. I'll just share my screen real quick and just show you what it looks like. The book was called Rich in Energy: How to Finally Build a Lasting Income in Energy Deregulation. Handful of chapters in here, like what is it? How do you get a slice of it? Choosing the right company, team support, launching, that kind of thing. And then I got tons of testimonies in there. And so what I did is I began to distribute this book out there. And then Rick Moore, you ended up just accidentally, somebody showed you my book and didn't know that you and I had a relationship from 16 years ago. Tell us what happened in that capacity
Yeah,
there. So let me
exactly.
introduce Rick.
I was also with another company, a third party company in the energy business, and that was residential as well as commercial. And I was in a corporate position with them. One of our reps came to me and said, "Hey, I've been looking at this information. Check this out. Is there any way we could do something like this?" And it was Rich in Energy, Mike Healy, and I just started chuckling. And the guy didn't know, he thought he wasn't in on the joke, right? Like what just happened here? So I explained that we knew each other.
And you called me right after that, like,
Oh yeah, as soon as
and
you
we
walked
hadn't
out,
talked in a couple of
yeah,
years.
as
And
soon as you walked out of the office, I was calling you. Yeah, no, it was great. It was a funny thing, and but he was right though. I mean, it was a something that just kind of encapsulated what was going on, in the marketplace at that time, and now I know you've taken that to current.
exactly. Now, so what happened then, kind of even elaborate a little bit more on the story. So Rick and I reconnect, and at the same time, Rick was doing some really big things with his company in the commercial energy space. A lot of it had to do with like direct selling, networking, that type of thing. And then he ended up helping me to become part of that company as far as just being a consultant, which was nice because the company that I was originally doing, I had transitioned out of. And then Rick and I built this great relationship. And then we kind of both had the same thing in mind because we were watching some of the mistakes that people were making and what they were doing wrong and what we thought we could correct, but we really weren't getting anybody to really listen to what we were doing. And I proposed the question to you. I said, well, why don't we do this ourselves? Which was just a suggestion. And I didn't know that you already had some massive, um, great, amazing relationships with the guy we're going to also introduce next, Jim Sharon. So tell us. So we switched over. You and I decide we're going to do Bidpoint. We bring on one of our other partners, Monty Bertrand, who's not on here today. He's kind of our tech guy. Tell us about that, Rick. Tell him about your relationship to begin with
Well,
Bidpoint.
Jim Sharon and Joe Mitiga, the co-founder at Avion Energy with Jim, that we'll get into. Jim's the CEO, and we all actually got into the energy business around the same time, years and years ago, right? And I've known
Right.
Joe 25 years, Jim probably the same, at least as long as I've known you as well. So we've all kind of been in each other's orbit, and they were getting their company kind of put together and going at the time that I was corporately with another company. And so when that was kind of breaking up and we're going another direction, then I reached out to Joe, and it was Joe or Jim at that time, just to see kind of what was up. And so around the time that you were saying, "Hey, why don't we do this ourselves?" I was already in conversations with the guys at Avion, and just kind of it all just snapped together, just boom. I mean,
And
it's
that
just
was then.
it just really just everything just all that happened in about a week. It was all
Right. It
just
was just,
like,
I go,
yeah,
because you called me and said, well, you're not going to believe this. And you explained what you just said to me. And I'm like, wait, what? I go, well, I couldn't be too perfect of a marriage. And so I think you introduced me to Jim and Joe, and I think it was Joe that came up here to Columbus, where I live. I think he happened
Yep.
to be in town for
Yep.
something. We got to sit down. He actually, I let my wife grill him a little bit because I know
Yeah. He's got
she
family
doesn't.
in Cincinnati. So yeah.
Yeah, that's right. She doesn't sugarcoat anything, and he ended up coming up here. And so, what we did as Bidpoint, we decided that we wanted to create this synergistic partnership with Avion Energy, which is what these guys do. So, Jim, I'm going to take it. We're going to you now, Jim. So it's now your
Okay,
time
I'm ready.
to talk. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about your just briefly, kind of your background and how you got into the commercial energy space, and then I'll start asking you some more questions.
Sure. It is interesting how all of our paths had a similar parallel to them. Joe and I were working for some energy broker out of Texas, and we were recruiting sales agents all over the country and growing the business. And you guys know me now, but the people listening to the call don't realize that my brain just kind of works in systems and processes, and so I was getting frustrated because this other company had none of that. And it was just a nightmare to deal with them. And so Joe and I decided to start our own business, and their Avion in 2010. We thought it would be really easy. And our concept was just slightly different. Instead of what we had was one company, one price. And so when you're doing energy, you present a price to a customer. Well, they're not stupid. If it's a deregulated market, they know there's competition, there's other prices out there. So they have to go shopping. They have to go look for the other prices. And so I'm sitting across the desk, I'm winning some deals and I'm losing more. And I just don't like to lose. So we decided we'd do this very different. We were going to go out and get all the energy suppliers, get a contract with them, and then get all their price, get them competing on this platform we'd eventually build. And that way we could drive the price down and be able to give to the customer the best price available. And they could leverage our expertise in the industry and not have to do all the work. They just have to review it, just make a decision, and boom, it's all done. And we thought that would be real easy. And you don't want me to give a big, long, hour-long history right now, but it was really challenging to get these energy contracts with these big energy suppliers, the broker contract. But now we had to grow enough to, get the attention of some of the bigger ones. It took us actually about 5 years to get Constellation on board. But now newer energy suppliers are coming to us because we've created this platform with our own proprietary technology. And it's just really super beneficial to the customer to let us go do all the work, present best pricing, and make a decision. And we've got like a 91% client retention rate over these 12 years. So it was fun doing that. But I'll have to say that we love working with you guys. We're so glad that this all came together, and going to be working together. You guys do an excellent job in finding people, the right kind of people, recruiting, training, helping them get off to a good start. And your book, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of anything you wanted to do, but I love your book because it gives the newest person that's just looking for an opportunity to discover what this is all about, and the simplicity of what's involved, and the fact that they can build a residual income, which most people, trying to make extra money or make significant money, they're looking to make another sale every day to get paid again. And in energy, that's not the case. Once you get a contract, you have a client, you keep getting paid every time they pay their energy bill. So
let me, because I should have said this at the beginning. So thank you for anybody new watching this, or or even people that maybe have forgotten. What we do at Bidpoint is we created a company, Bidpoint, which in essence, we're kind of like a marketing / sales team where we're looking for people who want to create a residual income in different verticals. Kind of the flagship that we start with, the one we definitely started with, the flagship that we've had that has been the most effective and the most the longest lasting residuals, because you were the first vendor we had, is in the commercial energy space. So what Rick and I do is we search out for people who want to do that, and typically it's people that have pre-existing relationships a lot of times with business owners, or people that make decisions in businesses that use pretty decent size commercial energy. That's commercial electricity, commercial natural gas. And then what we do is we've taught, what Rick and I have taught people to do is pretty much have them ask the business owner or give them a phrase. Hey, I don't know if I could help you or not, but if you give me a copy of last month's utility bills, I can have them analyzed for free to see if you're being charged. It's as simple as that, because we just try to get them to make a, well, what you mean free? And I don't want to be overcharged, which are the keywords there. They then get the billing. What's nice is we then just have the guy or the person that we recruited who got the bills and the stuff, the capacity of the bills for the you guys, and literally just hand them to Avion Energy, and then you guys do the bidding process without complicating it too much. Just explain what happened. So I've given you, if I was a rep that came in, I'm a Bidpoint advisor, and I got a bill from let's say a plant that does a lot of natural gas. I would then do what? And what would you do with that bill?
Yes, once we get the billing statement, a complete billing statement, all the pages, everything, there's lots of information that we need to put together a request for pricing to the energy suppliers. The service address, the account numbers, and there's probably 3 or 4 different account numbers, so you got to get the right account number. So that's why we like you to just send in the billing statement, and our team, in the back office takes care of all the other things. We compile a request for pricing to all the energy suppliers that are competing in that particular utility footprint. So however many that might be.
So a person, this is real, this is important. I'm glad you brought that up. I can ask my business friend, and I'm giving him a true non-biased quote, because you're bidding, your proprietary process that you guys, the software that you put together, and the contracts that you have, because you guys have how many suppliers do you have in the books? Close to?
Yeah, over 80 now.
80 suppliers. So when my business partner gets it, you're having them bid against each other to get best pricing, and we don't pay or get paid based on the price. So we're not having to jack up the price. We get paid, and we pay you or whatever, whoever's watching, on usage, which is huge. So go ahead and keep going with that process.
Yes. So, and I should clarify that we do have 80 suppliers, but we're not going to give 80 price quotes. It's never that many. Even the biggest energy supplier in the country doesn't do business in all the deregulated markets. They target certain ones that they want to do business in. And so that's one of the reasons why we need to have so many, because we do business everywhere. If anybody could buy energy, electricity or natural gas from a third-party supplier in any state, there's about 41 different states. There's about 23 that are fully deregulated. Some of the others, you have to be a large natural gas user. We can do business in about 41 states. So it doesn't matter. As an example, just recently, we have a pet crematorium business, and they have 60 locations around the country. And that's a great account because obviously, they're not just using natural gas to heat the business, they're using it all the time. So, we get paid, every single month. And it would be really difficult for that client to go do this on their own, because every utility has their own set of rules about how to do the business. All the energy suppliers have different rules. And if you're trying to get quotes from, even if just say 10, typically most businesses are just going to do 3, and they get 3 salespeople to give them quotes, and they're returning the numbers on different days. And so now all of a sudden it's not an apple to apples comparison any longer, because the price of energy changes every 15 minutes in the commodities market. So price generally is good for that day, if it's a competitive price, so it's a really difficult task for any business to go do this. And then if you multiply that by a business that has locations everywhere, all over the country in different states, it's just really challenging. But for us, once the information's loaded in the system, and that all starts with that, getting that electricity or natural gas bill, most of all the information we need from there is in the billing statements. Then we can, get it quoted. In some cases, we might need a permission slip to get some usage information from the utility company. If that's necessary, that's one other document.
Right. And we don't charge for these quotes or anything like that. You guys just do it.
We never have. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm going to go to Rick real quick. Rick, Sorry, you were just back in. Sorry, right when he's getting ready to take a drink of water. Rick, based on, so we've been doing Bidpoint now going on, we're in our 9th year, aren't we? I think it's close to 9.
8.
Eighth year. Okay,
8.
8 years.
Yep.
And we've got people, the most amazing thing is we have people that did stuff that long ago when we first decided this was a good idea. That what's cool about commercial is they people sign contracts for years out. Do we have anybody that's still getting paid off of accounts they did 8 years ago?
Absolutely.
Say it again.
Absolutely. You know, because you're getting paid off the contract, but just by kind of staying active and staying available, you know, we might come back to you, Avion may come back to you, you know, 2, 3, 4 years down the road and go, hey, we need you to collect some more current bill copy and that kind of thing. So we can then do what? Get a renewal. And as Jim mentioned, with a retention rate of 91%, you know,
Right.
as long as the customer stays in business, there's a great chance we're going to keep the business.
Absolutely. Yes. And that's typically the only reason we lose customers is a business might shut down.
They're no longer in business.
Yeah. Market goes away. You guys experienced a couple of businesses that went out of business when that hurricane hit Atlantic City, right? Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, one of the businesses, it was right on the shore and it literally washed out into the ocean. Man, the building out into the ocean. So they decided not to rebuild.
Man, that's crazy. So so let's answer just a few more questions. We don't want to keep people too long on here. What do you see? Let's go this route, Jim. What do you see coming up in the future for businesses and for potentially, like, maybe not, you don't have to say income earnings, but like for businesses, what's important for them right now that you would tell maybe somebody who's in our business, in our company, or maybe looking to this, that's important for them to start taking action now? You know, because we're really into benefiting and helping these businesses, which is kind of important. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Mike. And you know, right now, everybody's obviously familiar with the fact that prices are going up on just about everything. You know, they go buy gasoline at the pump and, you know, they got to pay more in the last year than they were before. Well, the same is true for natural gas and electricity. So maybe a couple of years ago, a business might not have, you know, been as motivated to, you know, do something like right now today. When you asked that question, Mike framed for you a minute ago, about just give me your billing statement and we'll go have it analyzed for you. Now with prices going up and inflation, you know, significant, they're looking to cut corners anywhere they can. And, you know, I just mentioned it's a real difficult thing to do this job. So if they come to somebody like us, we do the most extensive job of energy procurement that they would ever do. They're going to typically task some employee to go get 3 prices. And if you get 3 prices, you're not going to find the best price. We typically see a spread of anywhere 15 to 30% difference in the prices on our pricing presentation that we send to the customer. So when there's that much of a spread, you wonder, most people are kind of shocked by that. They think that, well, the prices are probably just really similar. It's like driving up and down the street. You see gas stations, their prices just a couple pennies different from each other. Well, no, there's a significant difference because it's how the industry works. Every time I've been in one of these energy suppliers' offices, they've got a big room, 20, 30, 60, up to 100 people sitting at computer monitors all day long, looking at the commodities markets, looking for buying opportunities. So if they can buy energy, electricity contracts going out 5 years into the future for every single month, for every single utility. I mean, that's why it takes so many people. They're buying all these contracts. If they buy it cheaper than their competitors, they can sell it for less. So it really depends on who's been buying it better. And I can tell you, over the last 12 years we've been doing this, it's never one energy supplier that always has the best price. It's always changing. There's ebb and flow of who did better, who's got the better price now. So if they don't do an extensive job of energy procurement, they'll never know who's got the best price. And with the economy the way it is today, inflation, everything going on, businesses want to know, I'm paying the best price something. And so they can rest assured knowing that they hooked up with you and you were able to provide a service that they would never try to tackle themselves. So they're going to stick with you. and you're going to deliver something of great value to them.
And then what's exciting for us and our advisors, our agents, is how simple it is for them to kind of make the connection. Most of the time, we try to recommend people that already have existing relationships. They get their foot in the door. We're offering a non-biased quote to the customer. And in a lot of cases, the benefit for our agents is they might just think, hey, they've got a big electric bill and don't realize that you guys get them on the electric, and then you end up getting them on the gas too. So they're kind of double dipping off the same customer. And then a lot of times we come around and we might have some other services that make sense for them as well. And then Rick, kind of let's close this down a little bit. What's some of the processes that we've been doing? So we've kind of revamped a little bit of, we made it a little more simple for somebody to get part of our company, because we've got some good content out there. People can watch some of the videos on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, our website at bidpoint.co. And a lot of things, all we're doing really now is we're just connecting people that might be interested in some type of residual income in one of our verticals, and they do launch calls with you. What do you do on a launch call, just out of curiosity?
Well, actually, in the beginning, it's kind of a discovery call, right? So we're finding out kind of what is their background, what's their geography, what are things that are going to make the most sense to them, and obviously, energy being kind of the bell cow in our focus, we're looking for people that first and foremost can do that, but we're identifying people, and then we help them through the process with their potential clients and kind of show them with a potential client what they can potentially earn from that client.
Mm-hmm.
So we go from a discovery of, can they, are they the right person? Do they have the kind of connections that can work with us? We identify how to work with them within our Bidpoint spectrum of services. And then we then show them how to monetize their connections. So it's like, I was just talking to someone today and talking about what kind of connections he could potentially bring to us and what were good connections for energy. And our next step, we go from discovery call to launch call. And in the launch call, we go through the specifics of the people that they want to connect. And instead of just talking to somebody, well, here's how commissions are made, you talk with them about their connections, that this client could potentially be worth this, and this client could potentially be worth this. And so it gives them an idea what to go after. And I think since we've started doing that launch process, and before that, the discovery process, everybody's having a much better experience. We're identifying, what color is their parachute and how to proceed.
Exactly. And I think it's, one of my favorite stories is, about this thing working is our buddy, John, and I won't say his last name on here, that literally just had a friend that I think he played football with, and who was in charge of some stuff. And we ended up getting some stuff together. He got some accounts done that were ready to roll. But if you guys remember, you guys with Avion, Jim, you guys secured a contract with this guy for his business when it transferred over. We had already signed it like a year or two in advance. So when it came down to like a year down the road, it automatically kicked over, and he got that customer, and he's made thousands of dollars in residual income for doing nothing besides helping that business save money. And now they've opened the doors for other things. And that's kind of the nice thing too, is a lot of these businesses, and in most cases, what people don't realize is that businesses are in the business of growing their business, not shopping energy. And they'll usually call, like you said, Jim, some employee that doesn't have a clue what they're doing, or they'll call the secretary and say, hook up our electric, and they don't have a clue that they just got screwed on this stuff. And we're offering a true non-biased, quote and opportunity for them to save some real money and be a supplier with us. And that's why your retention rate's so high. Jim, any kind of closing words on this?
No, the thing that attracted me to the energy business years and years ago was just the concept that I could go out, do some work, and then start getting paid on those clients every time they pay their energy bill. And then, the next month I add some more clients. And so I'm adding to my income, and the next month I'm adding to my income. And so whether you do this part-time, full-time, extra time, you just keep adding to a book of business that grows and grows and grows. And it's the residual type income that you mentioned, like with John. I won't say his last name either, but great guy. And he just connects us with people that he knows. It's a simple thing, and gathers up a couple of documents for us. And he's doing exceptionally well. And he'll get paid the rest of his life, as long
That's
as they're
awesome.
using electricity or natural gas, which I think that'll happen all for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Rick, anything else?
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that, and Jim kind of touched on this, is that when the whole world gets a little bit choppy, all of a sudden every expense becomes important. It also becomes important that there's a process behind this that can take care of really any size client, especially bigger clients. And so the last thing to touch where I'm headed with that is this isn't something to be intimidated by. If you have connections, we can monetize those connections. And it's really that simple. You don't have to learn where energy comes from or where it goes. All you have to know is that we have a process that if you plug into and leverage our platform with the connections that you have, that's really what you're bringing to the party. You bring some connections, we'll turn it into income.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much for jumping on here. Kind of late notice. We decided we wanted to do this, let people know, what's really going on. Thanks for the compliments on my book. I'm glad it's helped a lot of people, and it's definitely introduced a lot of people. I think you can go, I think I've got it on my Mike Healy training thing, and then it's on Bidpoint. You can download it right there. You can just opt in. And I got a little video sequence that goes with it, a little series that kind of simplifies some of the chapters and things like that. But thanks again for taking a look at us. And if you're interested, you can always go to bidpoint.co and check us out on there and set up a discovery call with Rick, and we'll get you started. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the other videos or the other side. Thanks.